In this demonstration, we'll look at failover clustering. The goal of the demonstration is to create an SMB file share that will always be available to our clients, and we'll use DC1 as our test client. I have already installed and configured Server 1 as an iSCSI target server. I created 3 iSCSI virtual disks. I brought each disk online and initialized it, and then created a 5 GB volume on each disk. The volumes are data 1, data 2, and data 3, and I intend to put my SMB file share on data 2. I've also identified 2 nodes that can participate in a failover cluster. They are Server 2 and Server 3. I've used the iSCSI initiator to connect to the target server and ensure these nodes can see the shared storage. I've also installed the file server role, so each of these servers can present the data to the clients. And then lastly, I've installed the failover clustering role on each of these servers so they can participate in failover. And we've configured iSCSI storage previously and added roles to servers. So let's pick up the demo from here. This is Server 2, and since the failover clustering role has been installed, we can use the Server Manager Tools menu to launch the Failover Cluster Manager. And with the Failover Cluster Manager, the first thing that we want to do under Actions is validate the configuration. Validation tests determine whether the configuration of servers and attached storage is correctly set up to support failover. And all you need to do is to enter your nodes that you would like to be part of the cluster. So we'll put in Server 2 and Server 3. A cluster solution is supported by Microsoft only if the configuration passes all of the recommended tests in the wizard and the hardware components are certified. And it will take several minutes for the testing to occur, so please just be patient. Once the validation is complete, the wizard will provide a failover cluster validation report. It'll check inventory, network, storage, and system configuration. You'll want to view the report and make sure that everything was successful. After validating your configuration, under Actions, you will create the cluster. A cluster is a set of servers that work together to increase the availability of clustered roles, such as the file server role. All you need to do is add the names of the servers that you want to have in the cluster. So we'll add Server 2 and Server 3. You need at least one server. Your cluster will need a name. You're limited to 15 characters. I'll use Cluster 1. And then you need to assign at least one IP address so your clients can find the cluster. I'll use 172.16.0.125. I've also checked the box to add all eligible storage to the cluster. And it'll take a minute while the wizard adds the nodes, configures the network, the quorum witness, and starts the cluster. Be sure to take a few minutes and view the Create Cluster report. It has some great information on the nodes, the quorum, and the networking for your cluster. Once your cluster is created, on the left-hand side, you'll be able to manage the roles, nodes, storage, and networks. Under Storage, if we select Disk, we should be able to see our iSCSI information. There are 3 disks. All 3 are online. Disk 1 is designated as the disk witness. We can change that. And if I scroll to the right, you'll see the 5 GB sizing. So far we've created our cluster, and in the next part of the demonstration, we'll add the clustered file server role and test.